Okay. So describe the advantages and disadvantages of modern tech.
Advantages and disadvantages. You're still talking?
Part one.
Okay. Okay. Well, the disadvantages, and there are a lot of advantages and disadvantages of um, modern technology. First, I'd like to talk about the advantages of modern technology. Since this modern technology is um, increasing of usage of every citizens, we can able to use we can able to use our the we can able to use the devices and make our work easier and become faster. Just like for example, when we are working in offices, we use computers and different devices. We have also printers with high um, resolution, and it's now become faster when we use this
So
kind
they
of
have become
technology.
faster, right? We have supercomputers. Okay. We have supercomputers. We have computers and laptops running with new techniques. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So apart from computers,
Apart from computers, we have now um, new invention of different brand of printers and scanners. Aside from that, we use shredder and other device that we can that other device that can make our work easier. The disadvantages of modern technology, um, when we overuse it or abuse, we it might affect to our body and can um, sometimes we it can affect our body and cause injury.
okay, okay, anything more?
And if the modern technology will increase of usage, might be lesser employee. This is the disadvantages in the future.
So
Companies.
there are so many gadgets, right? There are so many what is advancements in communication with the advent of the internet that has made communication easier. Okay, there is the
Okay.
iPad, there is the iPhone. Due to modern techniques, we can visit different countries at a very fast pace. Right?
Okay.
What the trains, super fast trains are there, fast cars are there, robots are being used. Okay, robots
Yeah.
are being used. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm, okay. Then what are the disadvantages?
When the disadvantages are when the usage of modern technology has increased, there will be more employees affected when they need staff. the employer will not hire, but because of the robots that they can use, especially in different field of work. They can manage using robots, and if abused of using modern technology that can affect you, and especially high radiation, and without knowledge of that, it can cause injury.
Yes. So if the robots are not managed in the proper way, injuries can also be caused. Uh, in what ways do you think new techniques have changed our society?
In what ways?
New techniques have changed our society.
uh, uh, I will repeat the question.
In what ways
um,
has new techniques changed our society?
Change our society.
Yes.
In what techniques? um, in using in using modern techniques, because of modern technology, we this the work of everyone will change, and makes easier to do the or to perform the job. And modern techniques, um, and also there will be no hassle to everyone, and make the work easier.
Okay. Apart from this,
Mm.
is there anything more? Nothing more. Huh? Okay. So internet, smartphones, everything has made things very fast, right? Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk to a human being sitting in another nation, right? We can work with our co. We can do business with our co-workers who are in different countries. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you think new techniques have changed the way that we communicate?
Techno- new
New tech-
technology
uh,
new technology change the way we communicate. As according to my opinion, the new technology has changed in different ways. As we knew before, as we knew in the previous era, there's no much easy easy communication in using to talk to our relatives, and other to talk to our relatives, and even to the um, colleagues. But because of new technology, there is easier. It becomes easier. Just like, for example, when we have a message that we need to inform others, uh, like that we need to inform others in our workplace, we use we use different apps in our device, using WhatsApp, Messenger, or um, other social media. And aside from that, we our our communication is easier and more um, more faster because of different types of um, different types of social medias that we use.
Okay, just give me a minute.
Just a minute, Rahul. I need to restart it. My
Okay, okay.
laptop is hanging again.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Not a- Ready? You are back? You are back?
I'm sorry.
I'm saying you are back?
Yeah, I used my mobile because the laptop is
Oh,
hanging.
not an issue. Not an issue. So, how has new techniques changed the way that we communicate? Okay.
How the new techniques?
How new techniques have changed the way that we communicate?
The new techniques changed since the previous era we don't have um much or we don't have better technology that we use, and when we need to communicate someone or our relatives, it is difficult to contact them. And but nowadays we have different techniques that we are using, different ways of techniques that we are using. Just like for example, we use the different social medias. Like for example, when we need to send a message, it's just a minute or just a second, we receive the message from the other party using WhatsApp or Messenger. And there are other ways that can easy to understand our communication using video calls and um, video calls and voice calls.
I'm sharing the document. You can see. Era?
Yes.
You can see,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So, anything
Yeah.
more you want to say? Anything more? No.
That's it.
Okay, so new techniques have changed each and every aspect, right? Each and every aspect
Okay.
of our communication. But perhaps it is safe to say that it has changed the way we talk to each other, communicate with each other. The most with the advent of the internet, new kinds of phones and smart gadgets. Right? New techniques have proved this saying. It's a very, it's a saying from, you can say that this saying has been very famous. Okay, that talk is cheap, so cheap that we can talk to each other by using our phones pretty much every time, whether we are staying nearby each other or far apart. Okay, even when we don't need it. So we don't have the energy or we don't want to walk even 100 feet or a few minutes these days if we are in need to communicate something to our friends. Since we can do the same thing in seconds just by pushing a button on our phone. Okay. And if we are not in a mood to talk, we can send a message across different media networks and Messenger to inform others about our status. Right? There is WhatsApp, there is your Zoom. We can talk through these mediums of instructions, right? So new techniques have made communication very easy. We can watch each other on videos when we are communicating with the support of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you
Okay.
think new techniques have changed the nature of those kinds of relationships where spouses are staying away from each other?
Your question? How has technology? This is the question.
Yes. So spouses are staying away from each other. In such situation, how do you think new techniques have changed everything? Changed the nature of communication?
You- You're saying,
Can you see this question?
yeah, I can see it.
Same thing. So they won't ask you exact words. Spouses are what? Partners. Okay. They are staying away from each other. So how do they continue meeting each other? How do they continue talking to each other? Okay.
Okay.
Start.
As um, technology has changed our um, technology has changed the nature of a long distance relationship. It becomes more stronger and um, stronger and better. We before before we only used handwritten communication. We send mails through through postal mails, and it takes long time to receive the letter, and it is a bit expensive um, to to send a letter for long distance relationship, and um, it is not an easy way to communicate your relationship because of the time that we need to receive that the time that we need to receive the letter.
Okay.
uh,
Anything more?
um as but because of the new technology, we can able to communicate easier and more um cheaper to contact with the with that or to contact with someone. uh,
Okay. Okay.
um,
So new techniques have changed the nature of many relationships, especially for the better. Okay, most of the times for the better. In the past, as you said, right, it was tough to get in touch with each other, to communicate with each other. But with time, infrastructure has improved, so these services are working in a more efficient manner. And with the improvement in the communication infrastructure, techniques regarding communication, such as internet, smartphones, we can communicate with each other in seconds. We can watch each other on videos, even if we are staying in different nations. Okay. So you can take the
okay.
name of Zoom, you can take the name of WhatsApp. Okay. So this, everyone is getting in touch with each other within an instant. Okay. Hmm. What are the limitations, disadvantages of new techniques when it comes to interpersonal relationship? Okay. Start. Start.
um
It is tough. You can sometimes say it is a very interesting question. Okay. It is a very fascinating question. This is an amazing question. Okay. This is a very thought provoking question. Okay.
your voice, is not straight,
Wait.
that's why.
I am saying that you can say this is an amazing question. If you get stuck, then you can say this is an amazing question. Okay. To make up for the gap,
Okay.
you can see this document, right? You can see the document.
Yeah, I
This
saw
is
it.
an amazing question. This is a great question. This is a fascinating question. Okay. This is a thought provoking question. Okay.
Mm,
So you get enough
okay.
time to think, because stopping in between or taking too much time to think in part one, part three is not good. Okay. I am sending these to you on WhatsApp. These you
Mhm.
can keep with. Okay. Keep them with you. Keep them in your database. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can start. Begin.
So I will start the questions about the limitations of technology. Um, when it comes um, the limitation of technology when it comes to interrelations, interpersonal relations, there are challenges introduced by technology into relationships. It includes the distance, lack of clarity, and impaired trust. Um, we don't we might see each other, but feel the emotions. We don't feel the emotions that shows through what we have seen in video calls, or even when we heard the voice of um, someone. It's unfortunately uh, we we do have research shows that um, mobile technology is affecting communication in a negative way when it comes sociability and face-to-face communication. um this might be this um this might affect or decreases the trust of the person whom you are talking to. And um what else? I think that's only.
So you can say continuing a, you can see the answer, right? Healthy interpersonal relationship is very important, but modern techniques have affected us in a negative manner because they have taken away the emotion away from us. Okay, as new techniques have advanced, as new techniques have advanced, okay, we have so
Okay.
become so busy, we have become so robotic that we don't meet anyone, we don't, what do you say, we don't introduce, or you can say that we don't invite anyone to our home. Okay. We don't even greet others when we meet them. Right? We don't spend any time with our near and dear ones. So bonds are breaking. The personal touch is going away. Right? We are not meeting senior citizens of our society, even our friends. That is not a good sign for our society. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So how could
Yeah.
new techniques be considered a hindrance for us? And do you think we can overcome it?
How technology be considered hindrance?
You see that?
How could how could technology be considered a hindrance for us? Modern technology. Yeah, modern technology can be a hindrance to everyone when we only trust and rely on the technology that we use. We may have time to talk to each other, but in personal, we forget to see each other because of modern technology that is always that always gives us new way of communication. We are able to communicate, but um, personal or physical face or physical communication is um, was for was forgotten. um,
Okay.
what
Anything more?
uh, that's it.
So modern techniques can be considered as an impediment for us when we depend on them too much. In fact, it would not be an exaggeration to suggest that techniques are putting a hindrance on our potential and growth because as humans, before the advancement of modern techniques, we used to indulge in more physical work, right? Even if we had to buy our groceries, we used to go to the grocery shop. That was pretty good for our fitness and minds because we were close to natural surroundings and environment. But now we ride our cars for the same task because we don't want to get out of our comfort zone, right? So what happens? We become obese, right? Obesity affects us. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. The greatest and the
Yeah.
most dangerous impediment, hindrance, is that we have started to think that without these new techniques, without this advancement in science, we cannot survive. So we are at the mercy of these techniques. And if God forbids that these new techniques stop working sometimes, our very existence as a human race is going to be at stake. Okay, so can we overcome this hindrance? Yes, we sure can if we reduce our dependence on these techniques, right? And we become a bit more active. Okay,
Mm.
okay, so become a bit more active in reading the topics too. Okay, okay. Why do you think that there are some human beings who find it hard to make decisions?
Why do some people find it
Why do
to
you
make
think there
decisions?
are some human beings, you see this question, who find it hard to make decisions?
Well, we human beings have freedom of choice to decide for our own self, but because of in the other way, when we decide, that is not an easy decision, but we must look the other we must look for the bad ways and good ways or good thing that will happen when we decide. We might we may decide we may decide a thing that we feel it's good for us, but there are circumstances that may change our decisions into failure. um, it costs it costs your life. um, it costs your life. Uh, what is this?
What happened? Anything more?
um, it costs your life in trouble. um, Apart from that, when we are deciding, or we plan for ourselves, we must we have an ego that sometimes um, others can't others can't give us any suggestions, and you have to trust to yourself, and um, trust to yourself so that no one can be blamed when you decide.
Okay. So why it is so hard for some human beings to make decisions? So see, this is a way of speaking. It's a joke that maybe they are of Libra zodiac sign, but then that is a joke. So I wish that the answer to this question was so easy, but it is not. However, I would want to attribute such indecision due to the fear of what kind of outcomes we would come up with after the decision was made. Right? Because as humans, we are afraid of the unknown. Okay, even at a time when the odds are very much in favor of some positive products or some positive results, right? Making decisions for some human beings, some citizens is hard because they are just not good enough in gathering necessary data and information which are required to make an informed decision. Okay,
Okay.
it would be one apostrophe. How important do you think it is to get advice from other human beings when making decisions?
It's very important to get an advice from other people, just like, for example, when you ask to your parents, as they have already the experiences in life, and they are the one can give you better advice than others. It Better advice than others. It is good. What is that question? It is a good way to talk to your parents when you get an advice, so that you will be in the same path, or in the good path. It's sometimes when you decide for your own, it is not worthy, because of the decisions you made um, is not good. It, Not good for others, but for you, you may feel better. Getting advice from other people as well. Getting advice from other people aside from your parents is um, good, but there are some advices that make you confused when you have your own decision, and it's totally when it's totally opposite to what you were planning.
Okay. Anything more?
Mm,
Anything more?
Nothing.
Done. That's it.
Yeah.
Uh, So, how important it is to get advice from others when you are taking decisions? So, it is good, in my opinion, you can say, receive advice from others when making decisions, right? Because they can support us with an array of ideas, right, with regards to the outcomes they would need to expect. But when we are open to receiving advice from others, chances are that the outcomes can be different, because if someone has taken the same decision in the past, his or her opinion might affect us. Right? So, yes, we should be open, but we should use our own thought process too in order to gain an outcome which is in our favor. Okay. Why do you think sometimes it is so hard to accept advice?
What is that? Why?
Why do you think it is sometimes hard to accept advice?
I think it is hard to accept advice. Is that it is sometimes difficult to accept advice from others, because as we human beings have ego, we are used to listen to ourselves only, and we may think that their advices are not good enough, and we are ourselves the more better to think for our own self, and we have we have our um own capability to do ours for ourselves. Although it's always easy to advise our friends and relatives, but before but when but we don't think that our advice is acceptable to them, and that that happens to ourselves as well. Even they are trying hard to give you an advice for better, for a better, and so that you will not fail in the future. mm, Furthermore, giving an advice from others, we always think that we are um, that we are more intelligent than them, because we might think this people who seek an advice are are not able to think for themselves better.
Okay. So it is hard to accept advice sometimes for some human beings because they have an inherent human characteristic. So this is an inherent human characteristic known as ego. Okay. Because of ego, we cannot see the truth and we are not ready to accept advice of others. Right? We think we know better than others. Accepting advice from other human beings would hurt our reputation. Reputation is hurt. Okay. Of course,
Yeah.
it has something got to do something with trust too. Okay. Because the person who is offering us advice should be trustworthy. Okay. It depends on where a person is situated. That matters too because where the advice being offered. So if a person is very busy with his work at his office, the chances are that he won't pay any attention to an advice. Right? If someone is suffering from some disease, it's hard for him to accept advice from others. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Advice. Okay. What are some of the most important decisions that youngsters have to make?
What are some of the most important decisions?
Youngsters
Important
have to make.
decision. Um, what are some of the most important? Okay. Well, in everyone has the right to make decisions. We even um everyone has the right to make decisions. Maybe when you're in the middle age, or young generations has the right as well um to plan for themselves. um they have they have the they have to make their own decision to make their future better, as when they decide to study well, especially in when they are still in their parents, when they are still residing with their parents. They have to decide to follow their parents to uh, to give a better future, and follow the right path and decisions to make.
Okay. Anything more?
um Aside from that, when youngsters planned for their decisions, it should be with the guidance of their parents, so that they will be successful in their lives. And aside from that, it should be um proper it should have the proper advice from their guardians, or parents, to 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 increase their capabilities and confidence in their self.
Okay. Okay. So some of the most important decisions that youngsters have to make.
Career. Career is the most important part. What kinds of subjects to study at universities, which university they want to study in, what do they want to study in their own country, or they want to study abroad, when they want to get married. Right? Then apart from that, decisions regarding finances, where to invest, how to invest in the stock market, how to invest in the share market, how to invest in property. Okay, these are decisions most important that youngsters need to make. Okay, then how to invest in the insurance sector, whether they should take what do you say, insurance regarding accidents, whether they should take insurance, health insurance. Okay, we are going to do a part 2. You have to talk about a news that you read which would support common human beings to improve their fitness.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just a
Tell
minute.
about
What? Describe an article you read.
yes, in a magazine or on the internet that could support common human beings or citizens or people to improve their fitness. You have to say when you read it, where you read it, what it was about, and why you think it could improve fitness standards of the society. Okay,
Okay.
you have a minute to think. Ready? Ready, ready. 1 minute is up.
Okay.
Yes, start.
Okay. Describe an article. Lately, there has been a huge buzz all over the internet about the keto diet among the health advocates, gym instructors, and those who are eager to lose weight. They talked. That is the It becomes the talk of town and most research word phrase in Google. Because of curiosity, I tried to upload an app to my mobile so that I can able to understand about the keto diet. I Upon searching on Google, I was directed to a website that provides informative article about living a healthy lifestyle, a life, uh, which, which is called Healthline. If yeah, if I remember it correctly, the title is ketogenic diet. The article was substantially long, and it took me almost uh, more than 10 minutes to finish it reading. After that, I was enlightened to to upload the app in my mobile, because of everyone are getting crazy about the about to.
Everyone is. Everyone is. Okay.
Huh?
Everyone is.
Everyone is getting crazy about the keto diet, that even celebrities in our country, in my country, are promoting the kind of diet. What I learned from the article is that the keto diet is the drastic reduction of carbohydrate intake, and the replacement of carbohydrates with fat. Um, it puts a person's body in a metabolic state. It called ketosis, when we replacing something or carbohydrates into our body, from carbohydrate intake to carbohydrates with fat. What is what?
Okay. Part 3. How do you think
Yeah.
common citizens could become more fit?
How do you think?
Common citizens could
How
become.
do you think people
Ah,
could
yes.
become healthier? How do you think? Um, how do you think? How do you think people could become I think people could become healthier when they will follow the instructions on the diet uh, that they try to imitate. When the doctors given them proper intake of nutrients and proper diet, it give more improvement to your body. Um, Aside from that, those kinds of articles provide health education to people. It can also help them to understand the importance of living a healthier life. What, how do you think
Okay.
people could?
Are there governments? No, governments in different countries they should subsidize the farming sector so that the farmers don't use excessive pesticides. Okay, and the food is nutritious. Okay.
Okay.
Are there any difference between the way senior citizens and youngsters try to stay fit?
Mm, are there different?
Hmm?
Are there different?
Differences
Are there
between
any?
senior citizens, youngsters, as far as fitness is concerned.
I think there. I think I think when it comes in planning about fitness, there's no difference when we talk about healthier lifestyle. It depends to the person, how old it is and how young. But the kind of food that they are going to intake is the same. And also when they are performing an exercise, the way they exert, effort on doing or in losing weight. It's there's no difference when they want to enhance their fitness fit and to become more healthier.
Uh, do academic institutions in your country, do they have any activities to enhance the fitness of the students?
Do you, is that- do
What happened?
um well there's no special activities in our country to enhance the fitness of the students. But when when students are enrolled in extracurricular activities, this is the special activity that they can able to enhance their fitness. But in school they have the same activities, especially in in PE subject. They have their every day every classes have the same activities that they are doing.
Okay. So, in different academic institutions, there are fitness coaches, experts, various, right? Students are given coaching regarding soccer, badminton, tennis, swimming, right? Running, okay, etc. Then
Okay.
gymnasiums are there where students can exercise, improve their fitness, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that common masses in the future are going to do more exercise and eat more nutritious diet than they are today?
I think there will be more exercise and diets that they will they will do in the future. As so what we have now has the COVID-19 pandemic. We already stuck in our house and different places that are lockdowns. We do exercise. Uh, we do more exercise and different uh, food to different food that we intake to be more healthier and avoid viruses that can affect our body. And we want to boost our body or immune system in any kinds of viruses. So every people or everyone is planning to decide or um, think more nutritious food and even different way of exercise.
Okay, nice. So, yes, so what is the news for today?
The news is about the um, uh, um, s- in the UAE launches new project to explore Venus. There is no end to UAE's accomplishments as the country prepares for new mission to explore planet Venus and seven asteroids in the solar system.
Okay, okay.
Aside from that, the um, England Sam Curran ruled out of T20 World Cup. Um, um, Sam Curran will miss. will miss the upcoming 2020 World Cup with back injury. He has back injury. Um, in the world news, we'll go to Lebanon. The business in Lebanon, Lebanon's private sector continued to shrink continued to shrink with last month with a decline in output and new orders as fuel shortages compounded political instability and weak domestic demand. Um, Talking about the Expo 2020 in Dubai Pavilion are more more inspired by nature as as the latest uh, the latest news from Expo 2020 Dubai. The there are there are different plants and flowers were um, what is it were designed in during the expo. um every every nationalities are inspired with different kind of plants, and there are herbs as well. Mm, yeah, about that. um
Anything more?
More about the that's it for now.
Anything more? Done.
Okay, one more thing about in about the um, UK talks about with Taliban talk to Taliban leaders. A British envoy held talks with senior members of Afghanistan's new Taliban government in Kabul. The Deputy Minister Abdul Ghani Baradar and Abdul Salam Hanafi. They discussed how Britain could help Afghanistan. Uh, yes, that's it. That's all.
Uh, that's it. Nothing more. Okay.
Mhm.
Then read the documents. Okay. And we are going to meet tomorrow then. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay then. Bye for today. Take care. Good night.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, most. My pleasure.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for joining.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Good night.